Hi. Hey. Hello. How you doing? Good morning. You clicked on a button on YouTube and it brought you here. And that's amazing because this is a magical place. And make sure that it's a magical place. I had the giggles this morning. Bear with me. This is my magical place on the internet. It's Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun. I'm here with my bunnies. We do art stuff here. And soon I might be comfortable enough to do topics, like conversations. Nothing's come up yet. I have a lot of things percolating. All right. Good morning. As you may or may not know, I pop in here around 8:30 every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And we do art stuff here. And then, depending on how I feel, we come back after lunch. So I'm here from about 8:30ish to 11. I almost always log off by 11 because I have responsibilities. Okay. If you've been here before, you know her. If you haven't, meet Maya. Maya is my fibromyalgia bunny, and she's the first bunny that I got. And I love her so much, and I have a problem. But she has her fibromyalgia, like butterfly on her tummy, and lots of other symbology. But today she's giving me those big button eyes, and she's saying it's gonna be okay. I have a doctor's appointment this afternoon, so I'm a little worried. It's gonna be okay? Okay. You gonna sit over here, or you wanted to? There's no room under the laptop. I know, we're still rearranging everything. It's okay. I also have my friend Polly here today. He's been here a couple of days this week, I think. Polly is my bipolar bunny. He represents all the bipolar things. He has very pretty ears. I love his ears. They're magical. And he has happy faces and smiley faces. And look at that expression on his face. He's just like, not about it. And yeah, so I'm living in the mania right now, but we're good. You gonna sit with Maya? Okay. All right, so we are going to pretty much finish this up today. I know that I'll probably finish coloring it with the markers. Whether or not we have time or I have the energy to come back and start with the fine liners to detail it out, we'll see. I might not be able to do that today, but we'll see. Okay, so I already went through the video. So I'm gonna start with E42 on the inside of the coconut. This looks a little complicated to me, but I'm sure it'll be fine. I've never colored a coconut before. Well, not in detail, like. I've never done it before, okay? Okay, I need my little dabbing paper towels. And we're using Copic markers. They're fairly new to me, but they have quickly become my best friends. Yes, ooh, how about that? I'm knocking this light around. Everything going? Okay, cool. Here we go. Whew. So I'm gonna come around this outer little edge first, and I'm gonna just make like a shadow. I'm gonna put a cast shadow underneath these. Okay, I'm looking at my reference image over here. So I'm right at the moment, I'm just trying to make sure I catch all my cast shadows here, so I don't forget them later, because I tend to do that. Okay, now there's all these little wavy parts around the center, so from there I'm gonna try and make some wavy, bumpy ridges in the coconut. I'm gonna use those bumps to do it. And I'm gonna start by making like very tiny lines. Then I'm gonna come back and make them thicker. It's just kind of my way of figuring this out.
This is a reminder. Take it off the bed again.
Thank you.
This is a reminder. Take it off the bed again.
I'm always very nice to my technological things. If it helps me, I'm nice to it. Make sure the ones that are on the sides go outwards in a circle instead of just like coming straight down everywhere. This is all about the light source, really. If you've been here before, you know. If you haven't, I struggle a little bit with light source, but it's something that I practice a lot. Okay, so that's the basic part. Excuse me. I think I have one of my hairs in my mouth. I trying to wear it down today, but it's really bugging me, honestly. Let me tilt this camera a little bit. There we go. Come over to it. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so some of these I'm gonna make like a lot thicker. So like in here, I want these two sections to be like the whole thing. I'm gonna pull a really thin line right there. Kind of make them a little bit triangular in some places. Okay, I'm going to come back through and I'm going to add more little strokes. Okay? So just a few, and I might, let me see it. I can bring some from that direction too. Oops. This isn't exactly how it's done in the class. Like, I rarely do the classes exactly how the classes are supposed to go. It's just a thing. I don't know. I just wrote all over my shirt. It doesn't matter. A lot of my shirts, you'll notice, have things all over them. It's not food. It's usually art supplies or hair dye. Today I'm just happy that I got the color of the day right. right. Let me see if I can get to my next image here. I'm trying to see what color. My heart rate's going off. Can we just behave? I think it's E44, but I'm not sure. Let me check my colors. I think it's E44, so I'll take that. If it's not exactly the right color, it doesn't matter. I just try to follow along the best I can with the classes and remember it the best I can. So I'm gonna come and we're gonna do the little inner ridge thing. Okay. So there's also some of it up here at the top, and I'm gonna try to do this very minimally. Okay, I'm gonna try to put this super thin line on the inside. I'm not sure if we're gonna manage it, but we're gonna try. Okay. So I sing all day because I listen to music all day, and it's bad. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I actually sing, and it's real bad. Most of the time, it's just alcohol marker on me again. Most of the time, it's just humming, or mumbling. But I can't play the music in the background because YouTube, copyright. It's a whole thing. So, if you actually want to know what I'm listening to, got me bebopping around. Over there, right underneath me on the screen, yeah, there's a little box. It's a screen share of my Spotify mini player. So there you go. A little bit of a cast shadow right there. Okay. And now I'm going to go around and add some dots. It's called stippling mostly, I think, or dabbing. I'm not great at it. We'll see how it goes. I find that when I go faster while I'm stippling, it kind of works out better for me. Okay. I'm just gonna put a few more in the white areas. Break it up a little bit. Okay, so next color I think would be E40. What is this? E43? That's an E44. Do you have your coffee? I have coffee, but I'm almost out. If you don't have your coffee, what are you doing? No, seriously, what are you doing? You can't live without coffee. Go get your coffee. Go on. I'll still be here. Mm. Mm. So good. Right? I missed a little spot. I quite frequently actually color outside of lines. It's not always on purpose, it's also not always a mistake. This one's on purpose. Okay, next is wet. E43. So I'm just blending this out, kind of. But before I blend it out, I'm gonna try to cover pretty much what I already did and let those bottom dots kind of start to blur. I'm trying to keep it on the inner side though. I'm blending out that inside line to make it look a little bit softer. I'm gonna need more coffee soon. I have depresso. We'll take a break in a little bit when I can't go anymore. Just take a 3-minute break for me to go get coffee. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with dots. I'm gonna try to go in with dots. That's what I said, right? Excuse me. Dot, 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 dot. Somehow whenever I stipple, my dots just look like dots. They don't ever like blend together right. It doesn't matter if I'm using marker or colored pencil, crayon. Stippling is not my favorite thing, but I will try. I will keep trying. I'm looking at the inside part, the actual meat of the coconut, I guess. And it looks good, but um, I don't feel like it has enough depth. So I'm trying to decide if I want to go back through it in the shadow areas with a darker color, or do I go around it in the highlight areas with a lighter color? I'm not sure which I want to do. Okay. Let me refer back to my image here. I'm going to bring E42 through this area, and I'm going to let it kind of try to blend out what I've done there. I'm not a fan of this right now. Actually, I'm going to use E41, maybe. I'm getting an error message. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna break this up. Here. And I'm really not doing dots. I'm just kind of dabbing. I don't want them to look so round. I mean, they could look round, but I don't like it. And that is why I do this live, because I've realized that I'm not here to make super polished videos. Maybe I will someday. I'm still learning how to use Final Cut Pro. I am here to do my art and have chit chats with people. I'm more about creating, I want to create a community. I want to create a space where we do art and we talk about stuff that's important to us. And we talk about how, in my opinion, everything that you're trying to deal with in your life, can be somewhat, I mean, you can use an art metaphor with it. And then if you learn that skill or a technique somewhat like that, I'm losing my words, y'all. I think it's important to find the creativity in your life. And I think it's important to actually make a practice of your art. It's not something you do like just, you know, I mean, it can be, I guess. It's not something I do just willy nilly. When I'm working through my art, I'm trying to be mindful, but I'm also trying to improve my skills and not just my art skills. I try to improve my life skills through art because if I can tell myself, like perfection is your enemy, okay? So if I was being perfectionist here with this art, I probably wouldn't get it done. That's what I used to do. But if I tell myself it's supposed to be not perfect, then I have a tendency to keep going and have a little bit more confidence. Now you can take that same thing and apply it to everything in life. Everything. You trying to learn how to make a quiche? Okay. Perfection is not everything. Are you trying to plan a party? Okay, perfection's not everything. It's more important, in my opinion, to actually do the thing. And so it's more important to me to actually accomplish coloring this image than it is to me that it's perfect. That doesn't mean I don't work to do my best. It just means that at a certain point you move on. You understand that it's good enough because it's a done thing. If you never, ever, ever get past the desire and the need and the compulsion to get it perfect, you'll never get the thing done. That's just one example of a life lesson that you can learn and practice over and over in your art. And if you get good at it in your art, you'll start remembering it through the other parts of your life. And then your art has taught you something and allowed you to practice something in a non-judgmental, non-confrontational, and non-risky environment. Art teach you a lesson, lets you practice, and then eventually, basically by human nature, you'll start applying it to other parts in your life. It's very helpful. So that's my my Wednesday wisdom. Wait, it's not Wednesday. It's Orange Day. Orange is Tuesday. Okay, so it's a Tuesday tip. So I'm going to go back through this with the E44. Not a whole lot. Just enough to deepen some of this up a little bit more. That looks a little bit better. Patience. Be patient with yourself, but don't be precious. Don't be so precious about it. It's just paper and ink. And, like, truly, nobody cares. The only person who really cares if it looks perfect is me. So, like, the mistakes that I see in my technique or in this little spot or that little spot, it doesn't really matter. Not really. it was just me practicing. I messed it up a little bit, but I learned from it. So, and that's what I'm here for, y'all. I'm here to talk about art. I'm here to do the art. And here's the thing, I'm still learning Final Cut Pro. I put a lot less effort into doing that task than I do in doing the art. And I've been doing this for a while, actually, trying to make videos and learn Final Cut Pro. And it has occurred to me that I spend most of my days doing what I want to do. Okay. So if I'm not putting in the time that it's gonna take me to learn how to edit my videos, and I just keep on video recording myself as I do art, that tells me something. It tells me that the art is the most important thing for me. So that's how I ended up starting to stream. I was just like, okay, what if I never learn how to use Final Cut Pro good? What if I never make an actual video that's edited? Does it matter? Does it? Does it matter? I don't think it does. And so I realized I could do live streaming without having to edit the videos. And there's a second part to this. And that part is that if I feel like, my perfectionism, as I was just talking about, really gets a hold of me when it comes to editing videos. So I have hours and hours, years actually, of daily videos. And there's like 3 hard drives over there, really big ones. Yet I'm not sitting here editing the videos. Why? Sometimes when you figure out that you're not doing something, and you can figure out why, it can help you inform what your priorities really are, I guess. And it is apparent to me, based on the fact that I spend hours and hours and hours doing the art and recording it, and like maybe 10 minutes a week editing, that's not where my priority is. My priority isn't editing the videos. Okay, does that make me a lazy YouTuber? I don't know. But I mean, the video editing and all of that, just that's not what I consider my priority right now. My priority is doing the art and having the talking. So I decided, well, I mean, if that's my priority, then why don't I just figure out how to use that? And that's how I got here. The other thing is, when it comes to the perfectionism, I know myself, and I would cut out everything that was funny, everything that's a mistake, every time I giggle snort, all of the experimentings that go wrong, and that actually sort of defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do here. Because I want you to see my mistakes, and I want you to see the goofiness, and I want you to see, I want you to see the times that I become unfocused and ridiculous, and I want you to see the process that I go through sometimes when I'm trying to figure something out. Because I think that stuff's useful. Nobody taught me those things when I was young. I didn't learn these things until I was older. Boy, the things I've learned sure could have served me in my younger days. I don't know if that makes sense, but, you know, being kind of paranoid and nervous and everything, um, makes it a little bit difficult for me to edit my videos, because essentially I'm editing out all the good parts. I have a video that I was editing a while back, or trying to edit, and it's me doing a set of nails on stands that came out gorgeous. I nail stamped them and everything. I pulled the entire audio out of that video because I sounded like a frog. I had a sore throat that day. I tried to do a voiceover for it. It wasn't going well. And I also deleted the video footage of me and just left in the footage of me doing the nails, which is literally like this much room on my desk. I cropped everything down to there, and then I was like, I took out all of the mistakes. I took out all the times I dropped them. I spilled a bottle of polish. I took that out. So by the time I was done, I had a very bland video of all the perfect parts of me doing the nails with silence. And then I lost the file completely. Lost all the edits and everything. And so I gave up for a little while again. What's the point of all that? Like, okay, here's the thing. I'm not trying to be a content creator. I don't want to make just content to fill your day. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to promote anything except for health, wellness, mental health, and creativity and fun. So, to me, editing that video out the way that I did, and I've done a couple more, and I end up doing the same thing, it felt so ungenuine, and that's really not what I want to portray. Okay? I speak really slow sometimes because I'm trying to gather my thoughts. And sometimes I speak really fast because I'm super excited or my meds kicked in. Does it matter whether I do one or the other? Does it matter if I'm completely silent through a stream? Does it matter if my hair looks amazing one day and what did I do to my hair the next day? You know? Does it matter if I have my face up there for you to see? Does it matter that I have really bad issues with eye contact and forget to look at the camera? Does it matter if my YouTube videos or lives don't look anything like anything you've ever seen on YouTube before? Are you here because I made a good video? Great. Are you here because the algorithm liked what I did? Great. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to build a community. And to that end, my youngest helped me a little while back set up our own Discord server. I have no idea how to use Discord. But we're going to jump in anyway, okay? So we have a Discord. If you want information about that, let me know. And I can get that information from my youngest and figure it out for you guys. I'm also learning how to do YouTube post. And I'm going to get back on Instagram soon. I've just been lazy. Sometimes being an artist is being super hardcore focused on what you're doing, and to the point that kind of everything else just disappears. It happens. All right, I've got E43 again. I haven't done multiple layers on pretty much any part of this except for the water. But I am doing it over this ridge area because I'm trying to get it to blend a little better. When I stipple with markers, it's pretty much always necessary that I do 2 or 3 layers. I don't know why, but it's true. And I'm doing less dots and trying to make them more like bigger blobs. Dab, 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 dab. And I do these little dots a different way every time I do them. So every time I go around, I do them a little bit different. That way, for me, when I'm trying to stipple, it looks less like I'm putting the pencil down in the same exact place every time, because sometimes I do that. So I try to change up how I'm holding my marker every time I go around it. Okay. I could keep going with other layers, but I'm gonna use a trick. Here we go. I'm gonna go down to E000. We're gonna blend that out. I'm just like really blending it out. And I think I'm gonna use E000, which is what I'm using. It's really, really light. In here as well, inside the coconut meat, inside the meat. And I'm kind of laying this down pretty heavy. I could have kept going with the stippling, but I didn't feel like it. And sometimes if you don't feel like it, I mean, it's a great time to experiment and see if something else works. You should never be afraid to just do your art however you want to do your art. Once you learn basics like different texture strokes, different techniques, and most importantly, light source, go wild, you know? And this is just softening everything out. Come along that inside line. And I'm really just saturating everything on that ridge. Okay, that's gonna look a lot better. And it's gonna dry a lot lighter than you think. I'm not going to use E triple zero. I'm going to use E quadruple zero on the inner part. So yeah. So my typical disclaimer is I'm not a professional. I'm not here to teach. I'm not here to do tutorials. That is not what we're doing here. I'm doing my art, and you are most welcome to join me. I can tell you where to go get the same art that I'm doing if you want, or you can bring your own art and your coffee and your stuffies and just come sit and do your art while we chat. That's something called parallel play. I want to create some connection for all of us out there who are just trying to make our life better and want to understand more about mental health and physical health. I am disabled. I have quite a list. Let's just say it that way. I have quite a list of issues, both medical and mental and um, and emotional. That's what I was trying to say. All right, this should just kind of soften everything inside of there so it doesn't look so stark. And then after it dries, I'm going to come back and bring just the colorless blender through the white parts, and it will bring that white back up. Oh my goodness. Okay. Let me get my image up. My fingers are supposed to do this 2-tap thing on my iPad screen. I don't know why, but my iPad doesn't like that. Let me turn on this light and see if we can reduce the shadow over here. I don't know if that helps. I'm trying. Is that better? A little bit. Not by a lot. Okay. Okay. I got my colorless blender. And I'm just going to come in and that's going to bring it right into the highlight areas. So this up here, the handle, or it's not a handle, is it? It's not a basket. It's like the rim of the coconut. um, Looks a mess, but you know you can't really tell if unless you're not looking at it right up close. So perfection is not what we're going for here. So I think we're going to use E41 next. E41. Okay. Dab the blob. And I'm going to come down. I'm going to try to leave a lip here, which I'm not really great with, but we'll try. Okay. Hmm. I wish my iPad would stop going off. I don't know how to make it do that. This is going to take a lot of like just looking at it. So I'm gonna hold my marker back a little further now and try to like make this a little bit messier. There's a level of texture here that I'm not always comfortable with, to be honest. But this is where we practice those things. Both doing art techniques that we don't understand yet, and also we practice being uncomfortable in life. My heart rate is on the level, yo. The high level, I should say. So I've got all these little strokes here, and wherever I have the little strokes, I'm gonna come through and kind of like just messy them up. Texture. I forgot that I have depresso. What are we gonna do? No, I really need coffee. Okay. Tell you what I'm gonna do. We're gonna break 3 minutes. You wanna time me? Go ahead. Ready, set, go. in the back. Okay. Y'all, coffee's important. I need it. It's still a little bit hot though. All right, so let's keep going here. Oops. So I'm really just blobbing this around. Do I have coffee? Is it cooled off yet? No. Okay. Ooh, I like that. That's looking pretty good. So, let's see what the next color is. E47. I'm just making sure that my marker isn't going to flood and go everywhere. My hand is shaking a lot today, so we're just gonna put that to my advantage. Here we go with it. I'm making this real bumpy. Trying to. Okay, and now I'm gonna bring some messy strokes down, some messy strokes up, right? Um, I don't know how this is going. It looks funny to me, but it always looks funny till I'm done. Coca Mocha is one of my favorite coffees. Yum. Give me a ticket. I gotta find something else to watch. Oh. Right. There we go. As I get towards the center of this, I'm gonna attempt to leave more white. Okay, I pretty much like that. So now we're gonna move to the next color and we're gonna start blending. Oh wait, hang on. Let me just smoothen this up a little bit. Okay. What's the next color? So the next color is going to be some greens we're going to add in here. You start with YG11. Just adding some stuff here. Like that. That looks good for the moment. And I'm come through here with YG23 and we will go right in a little bit darker right there, but like right in the middle. Kind of going over just the little brown spots with this darker color, but I am making it a little messy. Okay, I'm gonna come back over it to smooth it out a little bit with the YG11 again. And then we're gonna keep on blending the brown for the coconut. Okay. I apologize for keeping having to pull on my shirt, but it's just a little uncomfortable. You ever have those days where your clothes just hate you? They feel weird? Yeah. I also need this color a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. That looks neat. So E44 is next, I think. Let's do that. And we're just gonna blend out. Okay? Blending out. I didn't mean to put that there. It's okay. So now that I've got this texture here, in my next step, when I finish this, I'm going to start going back over it, making little strokes with the next color. And it should just build up like that. Because of the way you can build up texture, I'm sorry, because of the opacity of using alcohol markers, how it's pretty transparent. It lets you build up the color in such a way that you can add texture on top of what you colored, or you can add texture underneath. So in this particular instance, I'm adding the texture underneath. I'm gonna bring some a little bit closer in here of this lighter color. Just so it doesn't look like such a sharp line. I'm trying to give it like a really natural look. But I'll be honest, it's been a while since I've seen a coconut. Have you ever had coconut milk straight out of the coconut? Like where you crack it open? Well, you don't crack it open. You take something sharp and you poke one or two of the holes in the coconut, and then you stick a straw in it. It's really awesome. But you know what's even awesomer than that is after you crack the coconut open and you can eat the coconut meat. Look, honestly, I don't like coconut. Let me rephrase that. I don't like coconut flavors, and I don't like shredded coconut. I don't like it because it's sweet, and I just don't like the texture. But also, I love like fresh, real coconut meat straight out of the coconut. So crack it open right in front of me. I'll eat that. I'm trying to bring this color on the front straight down the lines that I've created. So on this side I was going that way, blending it that direction. So instead of going to the right or the left for the cast shadows, or the light source rather, I'm taking these ones straight down the middle. Kind of. What's up, dude? My doggy's been not feeling good. I think mostly he's just getting old. But sometimes he eats stuff he shouldn't. Mostly paper. He eats my art a lot. Sometimes he eats important documents though. Okay, so with the next color, I'm going to start making it a lot more streakier. E43. Okay, so I'm trying to make it a little bit less messy here. Okay, I got a good look going. I have a good look going here. I'm going to skip the next actual color in the blend though, and we're gonna go to E00. I'm going to come back and forth through this a bunch of times, okay? Because I want to blend them and soften them. Right. I like that. Now we're gonna come back in with that light color, which was gonna be, it's not E44, it's E43. And we're gonna go back through this again. Okay. Can you see we're getting a pretty good layer up of color here? It's not a layup, it's a layer up. I'm trying to catch up on my Philip DeFranco news. Okay, what was that? That was E43, so we're gonna get E42, and then we're gonna come back and go darker. Now, I'm not doing 2 layers here. This is just how I'm moving the color back and forth to create the texture and the actual look. We're still not gonna do 2 layers on it. Okay. So I'm going to grab E44 and come back through some of these spots, and then I'm going to use probably E49 and come back and add just a little bit more smudginess in a dark color. Okay. So now I'm going to come back through with E49. No, actually, I changed my mind. Can I change my mind? I can change my mind, right? We're going to do E47, but before I do that, I want to blend this a little bit. Let's go to E43. I'm just going to run this through like so. Okay. I like it. I think we're done. Almost. Hang on. Let me take some tiny little ones, if I can. Tiny ones. Okay, no, I can't apparently. Not today. You know what? We'll come back and do that in fine liners. I'm gonna put a little bit more green in here just to pump it up a little bit. And I just love the way alcohol markers let you layer. You lose some of your color, it's usually not a big deal. Go back and add some over the top. Okay, and this one is BG11. Just add that aqua back in there. Okay. There's a lot of mistakes in here. A lot of mistakes. That's what we like. Because if you don't make the mistake, you don't know anything. You don't learn anything from it. And you don't know what you can possibly actually accomplish until you're brave enough to like jump in and try anything. But it's hard to do that in everyday life, right? So this is where I come to make my mistakes and build my self-confidence. Because who's gonna get hurt if I mess up on this? Nobody. And I hope you can take that away with you today. Perfectionism is your enemy. Nothing has to be perfect, ever. The most imperfect things are the most perfect. Because that's where we get individuality from. And with that, I hope you've enjoyed this. We will come back soon with fine liners and finish everything up. I'm on the hunt for the best ever white micro liner. If you have any ideas or any products that you think work, let me know, because I'm on the hunt. I get really frustrated with gel pens, so most of the time I use liquid white. But yeah, we're gonna go back through this with fine liners and see how we can pump up the detail. Usually I do that with colored pencils, but this time we're gonna do it with fine liners. So either I will see you after lunch around noon, or I'll see you first thing in the morning around 8:30 a.m. Because, you know, I can't always get to an afternoon stream, and I never know how I'm going to feel after I take my lunchtime meds. I just don't. Yep, let me know with a like or dislike how you felt about this project. And that's all I got for today. It's actually a little bit after lunchtime, so I gotta go. Yeah, but thanks for coming to hang out with me at Periwinkle Palace Arts. Thanks for yeah, just thanks for coming around. I appreciate it. I hope you got something out of this. Something useful, something not useful, something that made you chuckle, whatever. And I will see you guys next time.